Level 1. Existential Organizational Challenges. Level 1 is characterized by simultaneous acute failure across all pillars, fundamentally jeopardizing the long-term existence of the franchise. Relocation risk is the defining attribute of this tier. Arizona Coyotes. Arizona represents the singular Level 1 archetype, defined by total failure in market and financial stability. The franchise has been plagued by chronic competitive failure, coupled with severe, highly public issues regarding arena stability and long-term viability in their current operating environment. This failure of market security applies what we call the existential threat multiplier. While other teams might struggle competitively or have management issues, Arizona's problems are fundamental. They don't have a permanent home. Their business model is broken. This combination immediately relegates the franchise to Level 1, irrespective of any minor short-term competitive improvements. Until there's definitive resolution regarding market and venue security, competitive efficacy analysis becomes irrelevant because organizational viability remains fundamentally jeopardized. Level 2. Deep rebuilds and organizational flux. Level 2 teams face prolonged competitive droughts, focused on long-term asset accumulation. Critically, they lack recent success, but retain fundamental structural security with stable ownership, viable markets, and secure arenas. Ottawa Senators. The Senators have historically faced organizational turnover and management issues. They're defined by strong potential in a major market, but historical competitive underperformance. Recent ownership resolution confirms their status as a deep rebuild, structurally stable enough to avoid Level 1. The Senators operate in Canada's capital city with a passionate fan base, but years of ownership instability under Eugene Melnyk created deep organizational scars. The recent sale to new ownership provides hope, but the team still needs to definitively address their arena situation and rebuild trust with fans who've been burned repeatedly. Buffalo Sabres. The Sabres are characterized by prolonged competitive drought. While competitive efficacy is low, they benefit from a dedicated local fan base and secure, stable future in their city. This structural stability clearly differentiates them from acute existential risks. Buffalo hasn't made the playoffs in over a decade, representing one of the longest droughts in NHL history. Despite this, the team maintains strong local support and operates in a stable market. The Sabres' problem isn't viability, it's execution. They have the foundation to succeed, they just haven't figured out how to build on it. Anaheim Ducks. The Ducks are undergoing necessary deep rebuild following the end of their previous competitive window. They benefit from stable ownership and location in a large market, but current competitive output is low as they focus on asset accumulation. Anaheim enjoyed sustained success through the 2000s and 2010s, including a Stanley Cup championship. Now, they're committed to a patient rebuild, accumulating draft picks and developing young talent. Their location in Southern California and stable ownership under the Samueli family ensures they have the resources to execute this rebuild properly. San Jose Sharks. Following a successful era, San Jose faces complete organizational reset. They maintain market viability, but are committed to long-term competitive recovery involving several years of poor performance. The Sharks were perennial contenders for over a decade, consistently making deep playoff runs. That era has definitively ended, and the team is now tearing down to the studs. The Bay Area market remains strong, and the organization has the infrastructure to rebuild, but it's going to take time. Seattle Kraken. As a young expansion team, the Kraken are still establishing competitive identity. While demonstrating excellent financial stability and high market capture, their on-ice efficacy is volatile as they accumulate assets and define long-term management philosophy. Seattle entered the league with massive fanfare and immediate financial success. The market embraced the team instantly, selling out games and creating a vibrant atmosphere. However, the on-ice product is still finding its footing. The Kraken made an unexpected playoff run early but are still determining their long-term competitive identity. Columbus Blue Jackets. Despite stable market foundations, the Blue Jackets have consistently struggled with organizational continuity and lacked long-term contention. Their current status reflects necessary deep reset to correct chronic competitive efficacy issues. Columbus has never quite figured out how to sustain success. They've had brief competitive windows, but they've never built something lasting. The market is stable, ownership is committed, but the organization needs to fundamentally improve its player development and talent evaluation to climb out of Level 2. Level 3. Underperforming Giants. Level 3 franchises are defined by high inherent resources that are currently undermined by significant organizational inefficiency. They possess high volatility, but also inherent rescue capability derived from deep pockets and market size. New York Rangers. The Rangers benefit from massive market and unparalleled financial power. However, they frequently suffer from high spending, combined with periods of underachievement or management turnover. The massive financial capacity allows for rapid asset turnover, resulting in high volatility but preventing a drop to Level 2. Operating in the largest media market in North America, the Rangers have virtually unlimited financial resources. They can afford to make mistakes and simply buy their way out of them. This creates a boom-bust cycle where the team oscillates between contention and mediocrity, never quite achieving sustained excellence despite their advantages. Los Angeles Kings. Operating in the large media market of Los Angeles, The Kings possess massive financial return potential, yet their organizational consistency and management efficiency are often suppressed, leading to sustained periods of underperformance relative to their market advantages. The Kings won 2 Stanley Cups in the early 2000s, but they've struggled to recapture that magic. Despite operating in the second-largest U.S. market, they haven't maximized their potential. The resources are there, the market is there, but the execution has been inconsistent. Chicago Blackhawks. Possessing significant historical legacy as an original six team and a massive market, Chicago's classification is heavily influenced by acute organizational and competitive failure. Their financial resilience ensures they're not a Level 2 franchise, but their managerial instability and competitive execution are severely compromised. The Blackhawks won 3 Stanley Cups in 6 years, establishing a modern dynasty. Then, everything collapsed. Organizational scandals, poor drafting, bad contracts, and management turnover have cratered the team. However, their original six status and Chicago market size provide a massive financial floor that will eventually allow them to recover. Philadelphia Flyers. Operating in a deep traditional hockey market with a strong financial base, the Flyers are hampered by chronic management inconsistency and an inability to execute a clean competitive strategy. This defines them as an underperforming giant with suppressed competitive efficacy. Philadelphia has one of the most passionate fan bases in hockey and operates in a major market, but the organization has been stuck in mediocrity for over a decade. They're not bad enough to get top draft picks, not good enough to contend. The constant management changes and unclear strategic direction have prevented them from maximizing their considerable advantages. Level 4. Stabilized competitors. Level 4 organizations are reliable, structurally sound playoff franchises. They possess stable ownership and capable management, but their competitive success tends to be cyclical. They're good, sometimes very good, but they lack the sustained strategic edge required for higher levels. Washington Capitals. The Capitals are defined by consistent playoff participation in a solid major media market. They represent stability without consistent dominance. Washington finally broke through with a Stanley Cup in 2018, ending decades of playoff heartbreak. The Capitals benefit from operating in the nation's capital with strong local support and a stable ownership group. However, their competitive window is closing as their core ages. They've been a model of consistency, making the playoffs year after year, but they haven't demonstrated the organizational depth to sustain excellence beyond their current core. St. Louis Blues. The Blues are consistent playoff contenders with recent championship success that solidified their organizational stability. Their 2019 Stanley Cup victory, coming after being in last place midseason, demonstrated organizational resilience and character. St. Louis operates in a strong hockey market with passionate fans and stable ownership. They've maintained competitive relevance for decades. Though they've rarely been the absolute best team in the league, their recent championship provides a secure competitive floor and validates their organizational approach. Minnesota Wild. The Wild benefit from a passionate traditional hockey market with stable ownership and high local fan support. Minnesota is one of the most hockey-obsessed states in America, ensuring strong attendance and revenue regardless of on-ice performance. The Wild have been consistently competitive, regularly making the playoffs, but they've struggled to break through to true contender status. They represent stability and competence without dominance. The quintessential Level 4 franchise. Calgary Flames. The Flames benefit from intense regional fan base and strong local financial stability. They oscillate based on short-term competitive windows. To ascend higher, they must demonstrate sustained, top-tier asset management efficiency, moving beyond dependence on generational talent. Calgary operates in a passionate Canadian market where hockey is king. The Flames have had competitive windows but haven't been able to sustain them. Their organizational efficiency is good but not elite, keeping them firmly in Level 4. Edmonton Oilers. The Oilers benefit from intense regional fan base and strong local financial stability. They oscillate based on short-term competitive windows. Despite having Connor McDavid, arguably the best player in the world, the organization has struggled to build a complete team around him. Edmonton's placement in Level 4 demonstrates that even generational talent isn't enough without organizational competence. The Oilers have the pieces to be elite, but inconsistent management and roster construction have prevented them from maximizing their potential. Florida Panthers. Despite achieving recent deep playoff runs, historical organizational volatility requires caution. Their competitive efficacy score has surged, but their overall financial profile and market depth require several more years of sustained operational stability to secure higher placement. The Panthers have transformed from a struggling franchise into legitimate contenders. However, they operate in a challenging market with competition from other sports and inconsistent fan support. Their recent success is encouraging, but they need to prove it's sustainable. New Jersey Devils. The Devils possess strong historical gravitas and operate in a key media market. Their competitive efficacy has rebounded sharply following a successful deep rebuild, positioning them as a perennial playoff threat, reflecting stabilized and competent management. New Jersey won 3 Stanley Cups between 1995 and 2003, establishing themselves as a model franchise. After a long rebuild, they've returned to competitiveness with a young, exciting core. Their proximity to New York provides market advantages, though they're overshadowed by the Rangers. New York Islanders. The Islanders benefit from historical success and crucial resolution of their arena situation. Their classification reflects sustained playoff contention and structural soundness, despite limited global brand presence compared to other New York franchises. The Islanders' arena saga finally ended with the opening of UBS Arena, providing long-term stability. They've been consistently competitive under current management, though they lack the financial firepower of their crosstown rivals. Their placement reflects organizational competence and stability. Vancouver Canucks. Operating in a high-value Canadian market ensures high financial potential and a dedicated fan base. Their competitive efficacy is cyclical, but their underlying organizational stability keeps them safely in Level 4. Vancouver operates in one of Canada's largest and wealthiest cities, ensuring strong financial performance. The Canucks have passionate fans who pack Rogers Arena regardless of results. However, the team has struggled to build sustained contention, cycling through competitive windows without achieving championship success. Nashville Predators. Nashville is a highly stable, successful expansion market franchise, benefiting from strong ownership and a defined local identity. This provides structural stability and a secure medium score across all pillars. The Predators have been one of the NHL's great expansion success stories, building a passionate fan base in a non-traditional market. They've been consistently competitive, making the playoffs regularly and reaching the Stanley Cup Final in 2017. Their organizational stability and market success make them a model Level 4 franchise. Winnipeg Jets. The Jets benefit from an intensely dedicated traditional Canadian market that ensures high local financial stability. While organizational efficiency fluctuates, their structural resilience keeps them securely in the middle tier of competitors. Winnipeg represents one of hockey's most passionate markets, with fans who lived through losing their original Jets and celebrated wildly when the team returned. The market is small but intensely dedicated, providing a stable foundation even when competitive results fluctuate. Level 5. Strategic Excellence. Level 5 organizations are characterized by superior strategic management and operational efficiency. They demonstrate sustainable contention by consistently maximizing their market and financial resources. These are the teams that prove smart management can overcome market disadvantages. Carolina Hurricanes. Carolina serves as the ideal archetype for Level 5. They maintain a high floor of modern organizational success through excellent prospect pipelines and forward-thinking management. They lack the legacy of higher-level teams, but they achieve elite competitive results through superior execution. The Hurricanes represent the small-market meritocratic ideal. They can't outspend anyone, so they outsmart everyone. Their analytics department is cutting-edge. Their player development is elite. Their culture is defined by accountability and innovation. This is what organizational excellence looks like when you can't rely on history or market size. Vegas Golden Knights. Vegas achieved immediate generational success, including winning a championship shortly after expansion. While their history is limited, their operational efficiency, market capture, and financial execution are elite. What makes Vegas Level 5 is their ability to rapidly build a competitive foundation that substitutes for traditional legacy. They've created a modern market presence in a non-traditional hockey city, proving that strategic excellence can accelerate organizational development. Their aggressive approach to roster construction and willingness to make bold moves sets them apart. Pittsburgh Penguins. Pittsburgh demonstrates sustained strategic excellence, defined by securing multiple championships in the cap era. While their core may be aging, their organizational ability to maximize competitive windows and maintain a solid financial base through dedicated local support elevates them to Level 5. The Penguins have successfully navigated multiple competitive cycles, from the Lemieux era through the Crosby dynasty. Their management has consistently made smart decisions about when to push for championships and when to retool. They've maximized every competitive window, winning 5 Stanley Cups across different eras. Dallas Stars. The Stars exhibit consistent management stability and sustained contention. Their effective acquisition and development of talent in a high-growth Sunbelt market positions them as one of the most strategically sound organizations in the league. Dallas has built a winning culture in a non-traditional market through patient, intelligent management. They've consistently competed without the advantages of Original Six history or a massive hockey-crazed market. Their success demonstrates that strategic excellence can overcome geographic and historical disadvantages. Level 6. Legacy Powerhouses. Level 6 franchises are defined by maximum inherent financial and historical power. They possess the highest long-term potential in the league, but often show inconsistency in competitive execution. What separates them from Level 7 is that their organizational strength comes more from legacy and market size than from operational excellence. Toronto Maple Leafs. The Maple Leafs are the perfect example of the legacy buffer effect. They haven't won a Stanley Cup since 1967. Yet they remain the most valuable franchise in the NHL. Their brand recognition is global. Their fan base is fanatical. Their revenue streams are unmatched. Toronto's placement in Level 6 demonstrates how historical gravitas and economic power can insulate a franchise from competitive failure. They could miss the playoffs for 5 straight years and still sell out every game. Their valuation would barely budge. This is organizational resilience that non-Original Six teams simply cannot replicate. The sheer economic weight of the Toronto market means they'll always have the resources to rebuild, reload, and try again. Montreal Canadiens. The Canadiens possess unrivaled historical significance. They've won more Stanley Cups than any other franchise. Their cultural importance in Quebec transcends sports. They are an institution, a symbol of French-Canadian identity. Despite often exhibiting low competitive performance in recent years, Montreal's foundational role and immense cultural significance provide an unassailable financial and historical foundation. They maintain Level 6 classification by default of their magnitude. Even during rebuilds, the Canadiens remain relevant, valuable, and structurally secure. Boston Bruins. As an Original Six franchise operating in a high-value U.S. market, the Bruins demonstrate consistent competitive efficacy combined with maximum historical and financial floors. They're a persistently strong contender whose legacy and market size elevate them above teams with similar recent success. Boston benefits from a passionate, knowledgeable fan base in a major media market. Their organizational stability is exceptional. They've maintained relevance across multiple eras of hockey, adapting to rule changes and competitive shifts while preserving their identity. The Bruins represent the ideal combination of legacy and modern competence. Detroit Red Wings. Detroit is another Original Six franchise with the historical legacy and financial magnitude to reside in Level 6. Although recent competitive efficacy has been low during a rebuild, the intrinsic valuation and massive financial base ensure their structural stability. The Red Wings' placement demonstrates that Level 6 status provides a cushion during down years. Their history of excellence, from the Original Six era through the modern dynasty years with Yzerman and Lidstrom, creates a reservoir of goodwill and financial strength that allows them to rebuild properly without panic moves. Level 7, the Imperials, Apex. Level 7 represents the absolute pinnacle of NHL organizational excellence. These franchises achieve the perfect equilibrium between financial stability, historical context, and superior competitive execution. They are the organizational ideal in the salary cap era. Tampa Bay Lightning. The Lightning are the gold standard for modern NHL management. They've won multiple Stanley Cups in recent years, not through outspending everyone, but through ruthless efficiency. Their drafting is elite. Their player development system is a machine. Their salary cap management is surgical. What makes Tampa Bay truly Level 7 is that they've sustained this excellence. This wasn't a one-year fluke or a lucky bounce. They built a dynasty in the salary cap era, which is supposed to be impossible. They lack the Original Six history of teams like Toronto or Montreal, but they've compensated by maximizing their competitive efficacy. They represent the meritocratic ideal, proof that smart management can overcome any market disadvantage. The Lightning's success is built on multiple pillars. Their scouting department consistently finds value in later rounds. Their development system turns prospects into impact players. Their coaching staff maximizes player potential. Their front office makes calculated risks that pay off more often than not. This is organizational excellence at its finest. Colorado Avalanche. Colorado sits firmly at Level 7, consistently competing for apex status. They possess recent championship success, deep management stability, and a profound commitment to winning culture. Their front office makes aggressive, calculated moves to maximize championship windows. They draft well, develop players efficiently, and aren't afraid to make blockbuster trades when the moment is right. The Avalanche benefit from a solid post-expansion legacy and strong financial health. They operate in a growing market with passionate fans and modern facilities. What elevates them to Level 7 is their ability to blend competitive efficiency with financial strength, creating a sustainable model for contention that doesn't rely on short-term luck. Colorado's management under Joe Sakic demonstrated patience during the rebuild, accumulating elite talent through the draft, then aggressiveness when the window opened, acquiring pieces like Devon Taves and trading for Arturi Lehkonen. This balance of patience and aggression defines Level 7 organizations.